Hey, Lashpreneurs. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the number one thing you're probably missing in your business. And I see this in all levels of business, from those that are brand new to those that have team and multiple six-figure, even seven-figure businesses. And that is looking at all aspects of your business through the lens of your potential customer. So let's get into it. Usually, and this conversation has come up a lot, especially at our mastermind retreat that we held in Nashville here a few weeks ago. And it was starting to look at marketing first through the lens of a potential customer. And then we look at the customer experience and the results and the communication of everything there is to know about your business, so that someone who has no idea about your business or is just coming into your world can understand whether you're right for them or not. So we're going to start from the very first second that somebody becomes aware of your business, all the way through even checking out and making sure that clients are happy and that they want to come back. So let's first and foremost start with what we call the marketing funnel. That is how somebody goes from having no idea your business exists all the way through your marketing to becoming a customer, the customer journey. We call it the marketing funnel in our programs. And so at the top of the funnel is the awareness level marketing. It is where you have the most amount of people. In that level of the funnel, you're trying to get people to go from having no idea you exist to becoming aware that a business like yours exists. Now, in that, that's oftentimes maybe like ads or hashtags or SEO or just a business card being handed to somebody. A client of yours talks about your business to her friend. That person is now aware of your business. That's kind of awareness level marketing. And it starts there. The customer experience, the customer journey, somebody's understanding of your business starts there. And so we can think about, what is it we're putting into that experience? And have we ever taken the time to intentionally curate that experience so that potential clients keep moving along our marketing, keep working their way towards booking an appointment? What this sometimes looks like is that in our ads, let's just use like Google Ads as an example. Have you ever gone to go look at your ads from the view of how it's showing up on Google? Like, some people just run ads and then they don't ever go look at that. Have you ever clicked on the link? Where does that link take you? Have you ever thought about, okay, somebody sees my ad and it says like eyelash extensions in San Diego, and then they click on it and then it goes to a booking site, and the first thing they see is all of your rules and regulations and in bold and capitals and no cancellations and booking deposit required and late fees and all of this stuff. It's like you got their attention. The ad did its job by getting the potential customer to click on it, and then you go and scold them the first place that you send them. Have you ever thought about, if I knew nothing about your business, would I click on this ad? What is it that's enticing me to go, I'm curious. Oh, I think I would like that. Are you doing anything in your awareness level marketing to get somebody to move into the next phase of the funnel, which is generally looking for social proof or validating that what you say is true, or looking for reviews, trying to understand, is this person legit? Is this business legit? Right? So when we move from the awareness level of the funnel, we want them to go into what we call the interest level of the funnel. And that is where we build relationship. That is where we build credibility. That is where we get them to like us and want and desire what we have, which is the final level of the funnel, the desire level. So in interest level marketing, we have social media, we have your review sites, we have social proof, we have testimonials, before and after photos. There's a lot of that relationship building and trust building happening in that middle level of the funnel. So have you ever looked at your social media from the eyes of somebody who has no idea what you do, who maybe doesn't even know the services you offer, doesn't fully understand it? I can look at your profile instantly and know whether you've ever considered that there might be a stranger looking at your feed or not. I can tell by your captions how well you know to educate someone or not. I can look at your posts and know whether you're just copying and pasting what you're seeing in your feed versus trying to create content that attracts a potential customer. And most of y'all are failing at this. Most of y'all are posting what you're seeing in your feed, which you follow a bunch of lash artists, lash brands, educators. You're posting really up close shots of someone's eye. But if you were to ever stop and look at it through the lens of a potential customer, all they see is, there is a camera in my face, and wow, that is a really close-up shot. I don't want to be that person in the photo because I don't want that close. Like, I've got, age spots or fine lines by my eye. Wow, that's really invasive. They're not looking at the beautiful black hue of the lashes and how aligned they are and how symmetrical they are. They're looking at how invasive that photo is to that client on the screen. So when you start to pull yourself out of you being the business owner and you start to put yourself in the shoes of a potential customer, all of a sudden you can start to see things through a different lens. And maybe that's why your marketing is not as effective. Maybe that's why maybe you're getting clients in the door, but they're not staying. One example I'll give as we move into the desire level of the funnel, which is basically your website. Have you ever tried to navigate your website through the eyes of somebody who has no idea what you do, who's going there to learn more information, right? Maybe they saw an ad and they clicked on your ad and went to your website. Have you ever looked at your website through the mobile view? 99% of the people landing on your website are doing so from their phones, especially if you're running ads. So have you ever looked at the user experience of your website through the eyes of a mobile user who's never been there before? If somebody has to scroll more than twice to read something on your website, you have too much words. You do beauty services, you do something visual. It needs to be way more visual than words. Words are important, don't get me wrong. How much on your homepage of your website, this is a fun little challenge for you. I want you to go look at and count exactly how many times you say I or me on your homepage. If it's more than like 4 times on your homepage, you're not making your website about your potential customer or her pain points and her problems. It's an ego thing. You're like, I can do all this, and I was lost before I found lashes, and now I just love lashes, and I love my clients, and and I love creating, beautiful looks for women. It's all about you. They don't care about you until they know you care about them. If I went on a website and I couldn't figure out how to book an appointment, or even when I got to your booking software and it's a fucking cheesecake menu, pardon my language, children, earmuffs, and it's a cheesecake menu of services. And, let's just say you market yourself as a lash artist and you love lashes, you want to do lashes, but the first thing I'm seeing is like 70 different body waxing services that I have to scroll through to even get to lashes. I'm out of there. It's too complicated. Or you have so many different lash services and they're called different things and I don't know what hybrid is, and a confused mind doesn't buy it. How can you simplify the choices that a potential customer has to make so she doesn't have to reach out to you to have you explain it? Whenever we review our marketing funnels for a lot of our clients and especially our mastermind clients, and when I ask them, why is that described that way, or why is that service there? And if it takes them more than a sentence or two to explain it, it's too complicated. Because you don't have the opportunity from a stranger visiting your website and your booking software to explain to them the complexities of your service. And if your services have complexities to them, or like, this is why we do this, this, and this, chances are you're overcomplicating your business and you're leaving money on the table because a confused mind doesn't buy. They don't want confusion. They want you to solve their problem as quickly and easily as humanly possible. Don't make the booking process super complicated. For all of you who make a client request an appointment before you approve it, you're also losing clients. It's confusing. So if I go and I request to book, and now I don't know whether I get an email or a text that says, you'll be notified when your appointment is confirmed. Now I don't know. Do I block out my schedule for that appointment, or is that not going to happen? Do I have to keep checking back my email, my text messages to see if I actually booked it or not? Because I would like to know I have a booked appointment at what time so I can plan my schedule accordingly. But that's a control thing on your end. You want to try to control all aspects of your schedule and move people if you have to. It is a useless game. You are preventing people from booking and wanting to book with your business because you're complicating the booking process. What are you worried that's going to happen? I promise you, if you let people just book appointments, you will find solutions to whatever challenges that may be creating, but you're actually leaving a lot more bookings on the table by having to have them request to book rather than actually booking the appointment. What about your follow-ups and reminders before the appointment? How clear are those? For those of you that think that clients are reading your terms and conditions and your no-show policies and all of that junk by checking a box or it's listed on your website somewhere, I'm sorry, you're mistaken. When's the last time you read the terms and conditions of a page? When's the last time you read through the fine print? We don't have time for that, much less people don't understand contracts as it is. So if you have the assumption that clients just read your policies and understand them, you're going to run into situations where a client's going to get really pissed off because you enforce a policy that she wasn't aware of. Well, she said she agreed to it. Well, you agreed to a bunch of stuff that you're probably not aware of. It's not doing you as the business owner any good to make assumptions that your clients know what you're talking about, or that they're going to be held accountable for a policy that you can't confirm that they actually read, especially if they dispute the payment. If they dispute a payment, a credit card company is going to want you to show proof and evidence that they agreed to what it is that they are disputing. And you can't do that if you just assume they read on your page. So what we recommend is that, yes, you have your terms and conditions at booking with a checkbox, and either state the obvious of what the policies are so that they have a chance to review it, or it can be hyperlinked. But what are the odds you think they're going to go actually click the hyperlink before they book the appointment? Okay. Now, in your email communications that are reminders, I would include the most pertinent information for them being successful in showing up to the appointment on time without penalty. So you don't have to include all of your policies in those initial few communications with a new client, but talk about what happens if they need to reschedule, what happens if they no-show. If their money is involved in any way, shape, or form, that should be in those confirmation and reminder emails. And then once they come into the business, part of your consultation needs to include you verbally walking through with them all of your policies. It doesn't have to be this boring thing, but you need to know and they need to hear what the policies are, and they need to sign to agree to them so that you have evidence and proof that it was discussed and that they are agreeing to those policies so that you can hold them accountable if should they ever run into an issue where they violate a policy. Hey, look, when you came in, you agreed to the fact that we would have that there's a 48-hour cancellation fee if you cancel within 48 hours of your appointment. We went over it at your first appointment, you signed off on it, and so we're going to hold adults accountable. Right now, we have specific policies that allows for a one-time emergency cancellation, but that is a story for another day, to allow for some flexibility so that you can have a more impactful conversation about holding them accountable from there forward. So all of that to say is that when you start to make sure from the client's experience that they are well educated on every aspect of your business, including who you are, who you serve, the solutions you provide for certain specific pain points, how to book with you in a simple, easy way that they know what their services are, that they know how to book it, they know what's required of it, that they're understanding of all of your policies in your business, that they understand how to take care of whatever services you provide so that they know how to maximize the results, when to come back, how to book. If they're unhappy, how do they make that right with you? How do you make that right with them? How do they communicate that with you? Because if they're left up to their own vices, they will dispute payments, they will leave bad reviews, they won't come back, and none of that is a win for you. So when you can start to put yourself in the client's shoes and forget that you know anything about your business and see if it even makes sense, have a kid go through it. See if like a 10-year-old can book through your website. See if you sit down and pretend to do a consultation with a teenager, do they get it? Or are they like, that's whack, bro? That's me trying to be a teenager. Have you ever laid on your treatment bed and looked up to see if, is the mirror got a bunch of fingerprints on it? Do you have lights that are like shining right in the client's eyes in an uncomfortable way? Is there dust like hanging on the ceiling? Is there like a weird stain on the bed? Have you ever walked through your business in its entirety through the eyes of a potential or current client? So that's my challenge to you guys, is go through every step of your business. I would start with your in-person experience. Go through and pretend like you're a client for the day, and go through and just, put yourself where the client's going to be. How comfortable is the bed? Is there a smell? Is there a weird, fluffy pillow bump or something that might make them uncomfortable? Does the bedding need to be washed because it feels a little crunchy on one side? Are they seeing dust and dirt that from your perspective you can't see? Then start going through your marketing, your client email reminders. How well do you communicate, what happens if they're unhappy? And if you need help with that, you can go to lashpreneur.com/policies and download our example educational policies on what policies we recommend you having to be able to communicate clearly what happens if the client's unhappy. How do we set the expectation that they're going to show up on time? How do we communicate other artists' work if they already have lashes on? There's a bunch of different sample policies we have at thelashpreneur.com/policies. And as always, hit me up in the DMs on Instagram at thelashpreneur if you have any questions about how to up-level your client experience, because that really is going to be the game changer moving forward with as many lash artists and as familiar as the common woman is in understanding beauty services. We have to up-level our client experience game, and it starts from the second that they become aware of your business until the second that they pay you and walk out that door. So thanks so much for joining me this week. Have a good one.